Is there anything beyond this dimension, the third dimension? Is there anything beyond what our eyes and brain and heart can comprehend? The answer to that question is yes. And I have covered about spiritual awakenings, at least mine, and near-death experiences. But we also should realize that that those are very relevant for not just living, but to know a lot more about yourself and what you can do and where you're originally from. Because the afterlife and near-death experiences and these past life experiences and all this can tell you what's been going on just on the planet Earth. But have you ever seen spirits? And I don't mean just exclusively ghosts. Have you seen the world like how it's not? And it looked like a different planet. People looked different, or the population was not as big. And the people did not look the same. Years ago, I started questioning and touching the walls, and that sounds kind of crazy. And then I started asking people, and this was in the midst of a Super Bowl party. I started touching things, and I'm saying, are what we see and feel actually there? Are these real walls? Are these real doors? Or is our brain just saying that it is? The answer to that, I figured that it's primarily the latter, but it's also what this physical plane has. In this physical plane, yes, there are these walls. Everything is what's happening. Like what you see is what you get. That's the physical plane. But I was somehow, when I was hanging out with my friend, we were talking, and I started to see her face just and not just her face, but her whole body and everything. And I started seeing what was going on around the room that we were talking in, and she turned into this very it sounds crazy, but it's like this whitish kind of, not exactly ghost, but kind of like being. The hair was her hair was white, and it was all glittery, like if you flashed it through light, you would see various colors. And just I'm just saying, do you know what? This is exactly what this looked like. It looked like a hybrid of Pleiadian, Andromedan, and a couple of others that I forgot. But it was just so bizarre, and it showed me that this physical plane is not 100% true. That there can be souls and beings that have been living for thousands, if not millions, if not billions of years, and they still look very young. They look young, like as if they're like in like 18 to 18 to like mid late 20s. Everyone looks like that. And I remember just like looking around the room, and I'm like saying the whole place changed. It was as if in what I saw, the sky was very purple. The sky was and everything, like there were not as many people around us. And just like when there were not people, there were other people there, even though they were not physically not there, and they were not the same people. And this whole thing was a lot more like flatlined, as if it was a different planet. And and I just realized that it was my third eye that was opening. And I could just see the population, see just like everyone was they were just how could I say this? And I started telling people this, especially like someone who claimed to be claimed to be spiritual, but it's like, well, I read this and I read that, and based off of this, I read nothing about this, and because this book says this book says that, and you're just and I overheard. I was later told that she thought that I was just making nonsense up. No. None of this stuff is taught in books, nor shared in books. These dimensions and these people were, I don't know how I was able to see all this. It was like a different civilization. Now, I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not saying anyone's beneath me, and I'm not promoting this. I'm just promoting what I saw, okay? Just like in my previous videos, I'm not saying my experiences and my visions are different, or they're this way, ergo it's better. It's like, how narcissistic and egotistical is that? And anyone who carries themselves that way, especially in the truther community, I mean, like, you cannot call yourself a star seed and be cocky about it and say, well, you should kiss my butt, kiss my rear, because I'm better and I'm from a different planet. It's like, no, you're from a different planet. Let's just say you are, and your soul's more evolved. You're brought here to benefit. You're better, you're more developed, and there are a lot more people that don't even know that they're developing, or they're developed souls. A lot higher dimensions than they thought they were, or thought they are right now. But there are a lot of people out there that want to say, oh, I'm different, ergo I'm better. No. You may be better in one aspect, but the thing is that if you are one of these things, it is your responsibility to help others get to where you're at. And that's exactly what I hope to do with with not just these vlogs, but also my readings. I may not tell the whole story, but I do reference my experiences every now and then, depending on the context. But I digress. Anyways, these beings were very human-like. They were. They had the same face. Like my friend, she had the same face, but it looked like she was like it's still like young, like really really young, which tells me again way up there, time is a lot slower, a lot slower than it is here on this earth. What's I don't know I cannot formulate the measure of time or the units or whatever of how quick these lives that we live on planet Earth are, and just ever since then, I don't know if I said this already, but I've been able to open my third eye and see what's really going on. And opening your third eye doesn't always have to be like at will, and you need to be your all your eyes have to be on. There are some people whose third eye happens when they're asleep. It's like within their dreams. Because especially at that time, because that's when you're the most prone to spells, because you're defenseless. I mean, lately, on and off, I've been hearing things. I've been hearing voices. There was even last night where I saw this the face of a black cat, and even though my eyes were closed, it was as if my eyes were open, and I saw this, and then I immediately woke up and just like, so I mean, like, which tells me that if you've been having these sorts of things, I know this is another, I'm digressing from the topic here again, but if you've been having like these dreams where you're seeing and hearing, or you've had these visions, your third eye is opening or has already opened, and you really know what in the world is going on. And I actually remember going to Mount Shasta, and we were on this Vortex tour. It was very we paid my friend and I paid a certain amount of money. It was not the greatest experience ever, but I was able to also see a lot of beings, which tells me the naked eye cannot see what's really going on. It can just see certain things. And what's really hilarious is that what's really hilarious is that that Vortex tour guide said it's bad to have your third eye open and the Matrix is good. It's like, I'm sorry, but you cannot be in the Matrix if you're if you want to evolve, and if you can see all these things. There are a lot of civilizations that we do not see. They're very strong. A lot stronger than your average human. They're almost godlike. I was able to see how not just how people looked in the further dimensions, but how they actually were. And a lot of this stuff, there were even like these weird creatures. I wouldn't say as goes as far as I wouldn't say, and nor go as far as to say they looked like Star Wars characters or Star Trek characters, but it was just very different. It's the world that we see right now, physically. It's the world of reality, but it's not the world of actuality. And so, and that's why there are a lot of people who want you to, who say, I don't want to sound conspiratorial, but a lot of people want to say, trust the science, the science, the science, the science. The science always only explains what's going on in the physical plane. The metaphysical plane, they don't tell you what's going on because they want you stuck. They don't want you to evolve. Now, I'm sorry that I'm being a little preachy here, and I'm just initially telling what I've seen with my third eye and my other spiritual experiences, but it's just you are a lot more powerful than you think you are. A lot of people are, and I know that sounds cliche, but I'm talking about even in the astrophysical, and there are plenty of people who said, "Oh, the astrophysical world is like this, the astrophysical world is like that." And again, everybody has their own visions, and they have their own species, and they're part of a certain species and part of certain planets. Because planets, it's like, why are there so many? It's because they're almost like countries. Especially in galactical wise, they're very from a distant, but it's really hard to explain. I mean, people are gonna have to ask me specific questions, but no, this if you've ever had, or you've been seeing beings around you, or you felt and seen as if you were on a different planet and you were not hallucinating, like you didn't take any meds or you didn't do anything like that, and you were just like seeing it through, it's like, how am I seeing this? Then you know where you're from. There are a lot of people, a lot more people than a lot of people of the truther community want to admit. There are so many people. I mean, it's like multiple countries. It's like its own planet. And but it was very, very beautiful to witness. And these what I saw, even with some of these people, at least when I saw my friend again, it looked like she looked like this very very young and girl, and I said, almost rainbow, and everything was white, even her face, almost like almost like a ghost, but it wasn't like pasty white. It was more like well, the hair was pasty white, but it was almost like a creamy, maybe pale white. I don't remember, but it's just, I don't know what else to say. I mean, like, I've had very limited times when I actually needed to see what I needed to see in the, in the further dimensions when I opened my third eye. Well, let me ask you this, audience. Please leave in the comments section if you please tell say in the comment section what you've seen with your third eye, if you've activated it, because that's the thing that tells you the truth, what's ultimately going on. And again, the third eye does not have to be as you're awake. It can be in your dreams, because there are times when as I sleep, I do see things that my physical body doesn't. I have experiences that my physical body doesn't. It just my soul and third eye can see when I'm awake and when I'm asleep. And and I'm very sure that I'm not the only one who can do this. There are a lot of people who've gone through this and are a bit more consistent with it. I know that there are people who've had better experiences, or like more detailed experiences. But again, if you want clarification on this, and you want to know into greater detail what I saw, please leave in the comment section, like and subscribe so the echoes expand.